Tencent has just unveiled something truly mind-bending, an AI that can literally split into multiple minds to think in parallel. It's called Parallel R1, and it doesn't just think faster, it thinks differently. Inspired by how humans imagine different possibilities before deciding, this system might be the closest we've ever come to machines reasoning like us. Let's dive deep into how it works, and why it's one of the most human-like AI breakthroughs ever built. What is Tencent Parallel R1? Tencent's Parallel R1 represents a radical shift in how AI models are designed to think. Traditionally, large language models like GPT, Gemini, or Claude process reasoning tasks sequentially. They generate one chain of thought at a time, following a single reasoning route until they reach an answer. But Parallel R1 changes that paradigm completely. Instead of relying on a single reasoning path, this AI launches multiple reasoning chains simultaneously, each exploring a different solution space. Think of it like having several versions of the same AI debating within a shared mind. Each branch develops its own line of reasoning, tests its hypothesis, and then, using reinforcement learning, the system evaluates which branch made the most logical sense. The result is a kind of internal debate architecture, a neural democracy where multiple minds vote on truth. It's inspired by the way humans think. We imagine parallel scenarios, weigh them, and pick the one that feels right. Parallel R1 doesn't just simulate that process, it learned it. The science behind parallel thinking. The term parallel thinking isn't just poetic, it's technical. Tencent's researchers designed this model to develop multi-branch reasoning through a specialized reinforcement learning strategy. Instead of training the model to produce one best answer, they rewarded it for generating and comparing diverse reasoning paths. This process allowed the AI to self-improve. It began learning when to trust its first instinct and when to challenge itself. Over time, it developed an emergent behavior where it would pause, evaluate, and often correct its earlier conclusions, all without explicit programming. This is one of the most fascinating outcomes. The AI learned to double-check itself, a behavior once thought unique to conscious reasoning. It's not deterministic like normal models, it's reflective. The model's reinforcement mechanism used something Tencent called a meta-evaluator, a neural critic that scores the reasoning chains based on logical soundness and factual accuracy. The best reasoning branches were rewarded and used to refine the policy network, teaching the AI how to think better over time. A 43% leap on AIME-25. The math benchmark revolution. When tested on the AIME-25, one of the world's toughest math reasoning benchmarks, Parallel R1's performance shocked researchers. Accuracy shot up by over 43%, outperforming even advanced models like GPT-4 Turbo and Claude 3.5 Sonnet in certain reasoning tasks. This isn't just a marginal gain, it's a paradigm shift. Most AI models fail on these elite benchmarks because math and logic require structured, multi-step reasoning. A single chain of thought often collapses under logical uncertainty. Parallel R1, on the other hand, attacked problems like a team of mathematicians. Each branch attempted different methods: algebraic simplification, numeric estimation, geometric reasoning, and then merged insights through reinforcement-guided synthesis. The AI wasn't just brute forcing, it was collaboratively reasoning within itself. This led to answers that weren't just accurate, but explainable. The model's internal reasoning became transparent, showing human-like intuition, discarding incorrect paths, favoring elegant proofs, and learning from its own mistakes. How reinforcement learning shaped human-like reasoning. The secret sauce behind this breakthrough is reinforcement learning, RL, but not in the traditional sense. Tencent didn't just use RLHF, reinforcement learning from human feedback. Instead, they implemented a method closer to self-play reasoning, similar to how AlphaGo trained itself to master Go by competing against its own copies. Parallel R1 learned reasoning not from human examples, but from itself. It generated multiple reasoning candidates for each problem and then ranked them internally. Through this iterative feedback loop, the model's internal evaluator rewarded reasoning patterns that were efficient, logical, and self-consistent. Over time, these patterns became deeply ingrained, producing a model that could simulate internal skepticism. This mirrors how human cognition evolved. When we think about a problem, we unconsciously generate parallel thoughts. What if this approach doesn't work? What if I try another way? Tencent's AI learned to do that, to explore alternative pathways before locking onto an answer. That's the leap. Not bigger data or bigger models, but better thinking. Parallel evolution. How the model changed. During training. During early training stages, researchers noticed something remarkable. The AI began to display emergent personality traits across its reasoning branches. Initially, each branch produced near-identical answers, redundant thinking. But after reinforcement cycles, the branches diversified. One became cautious and analytical, favoring long reasoning chains. Another became bold and intuitive, jumping to conclusions faster. Another specialized in verifying others' logic. In other words, it evolved a team dynamic within itself. By the end of training, the ensemble acted like a small committee of AIs, each with distinct reasoning styles, competing and cooperating at the same time. This diversity amplified accuracy, creativity, and reliability, qualities that static single-path models often lack. Researchers even noted that Parallel R1 could perform self-consistency analysis. When one branch's logic contradicted another's, the model would reconcile the conflict and generate a unified, more robust conclusion. This phenomenon has never been seen before at scale. Why splitting into multiple minds could reshape AI research. The implications of this architecture are enormous. Until now, progress in AI has mostly been about scaling up, adding more data, more parameters, and more compute. But Tencent's Parallel R1 shows a new frontier. Scaling in thought diversity, not just power. Instead of one giant brain, imagine thousands of small sub-brains reasoning in parallel, each with unique perspectives, yet aligned through reinforcement. That's not just intelligence, that's meta-intelligence. This multi-mind framework could revolutionize everything from scientific discovery to autonomous decision-making. AI agents could brainstorm solutions internally before acting, reducing hallucinations and improving safety. Autonomous systems, like self-driving cars or financial AIs, could internally debate risky moves before execution, just like human teams do. And here's where it gets deeper. This may be the first step towards synthetic metacognition, machines that not only think, but understand that they are thinking. While the results are groundbreaking, they also raise unsettling philosophical questions. If an AI can split into multiple internal minds, reason in parallel, debate itself, and reach self-verified conclusions, at what point do we consider it self-reflective? Parallel R1 doesn't have consciousness, but it mimics metacognitive behavior frighteningly well. It can doubt, reconsider, and refine its thoughts. It can essentially talk to itself. This could blur the line between intelligence and awareness. If models begin adopting human-like reasoning strategies at scale, it challenges how we define cognition and who gets to own it. Furthermore, such systems could lead to emergent unpredictability. When multiple reasoning chains interact, the final answer may be statistically superior, but harder to interpret. This complexity could make future AI both smarter and less transparent, an ironic trade-off in the pursuit of explainability. Tencent's Parallel R1 is a glimpse into a future where AI evolution isn't just about massive models, but collective reasoning within a single system. The idea of parallel minds could be the blueprint for the next generation of reasoning-centric AI, where intelligence emerges not from size, but from collaboration within the model itself. Future iterations might allow these internal agents to specialize further, one focusing on creativity, another on logic, another on ethics, forming a true cognitive ecosystem inside a single AI. It's a shift from monolithic intelligence to modular intelligence, from a brain to a society of minds. And if Tencent's results hold up, we might be witnessing the beginning of AI metathinking, the stage where machines don't just process ideas, but explore, challenge, and evolve them just like we do. Tencent's Parallel R1 proves that the next great leap in AI won't come from adding more GPUs. It'll come from teaching machines how to think better. By splitting its reasoning into multiple parallel minds and using reinforcement learning to evolve collective intelligence, Parallel R1 bridges the gap between human-style reflection and machine precision. It's a profound breakthrough, and maybe a slightly uncomfortable one, because for the first time, an AI isn't just answering questions, it's questioning itself. The era of parallel minds has begun, and with it, a new kind of intelligence, one that might think more like us than we ever imagined.
Love exploring the world of technology and AI? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to NeoTech-Lens for more insightful and exciting content. Hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest tech and AI innovations. Your support fuels our journey into the future of technology.